Now, this is Nutritionix. Now, I like to use Nutritionix specifically because it's really detailed when it comes to all the different macronutrients, micronutrients, everything that you need to be able to develop your proper meal plan. A lot of people ask, what is it that I should be eating? When should I be eating? This is really going to help you out. Cool thing about the app here, well, they have an app. You can also do it on their website. The database is really cool because they're loaded up. They got 843 restaurants on here. The cool thing is they're the main big chain. So a lot of the places you go, you can actually find out what your macros are just simply right here. They have some really cool tools to help you when it comes to your daily calories. Of course, when you're working in the program here, I show you how to look at all this. We don't necessarily use all of it, but if it is needed, it is very effective for you. Again, if you need that extra assistance. But what we're going to do today is I'm just going to go to the homepage here and just going to kind of show you a basic, a very popular protein is chicken. So when you search up your macronutrient, your protein, your fat, your carbs, whatever it ends up being, what you're going to end up noticing is the first thing it shows you is how many ounces. So it's going to give you what your chicken's going to weigh or how much you're looking to do it. You have a couple different options. I like to do ounces, especially when I'm writing out meal plans, mainly because you got to be able to know what is going to come in your ounces. A lot of times these chickens out there, you can see a chicken breast in the grocery store that looks like a freaking super chicken, or you can see one if you go to your local farmer's market. Some of you may think it's the size of a pigeon, but the thing is these chickens are raised differently. They're also fed differently. So I like to go off of ounces rather than a whole chicken because I can actually be a little bit more precise on my measurements. But let's just say, for example, we'll say 5 ounces of chicken. The reason I'm doing this is because this is a pretty common measurement for when people are building out their meal plans. But what this thing shows me is that I've got 312 calories in this 5 ounces of chicken. So you can add this to the food log, which we were talking about just a second ago. But let's just say we're not building that out at all. You can see the difference between fried chicken and regular chicken. I'm also going to show you the difference between like chicken breast and chicken thigh. But if I just click this little arrow here, what it's going to do is give me these nutrition facts. Now, these nutrition facts, this is as best as we can get. Wow, it shot up to 15 ounces. So I'm going to take this. You always got to check, make sure you're at. So I'm putting in 5 again. So it's showing me that for 5 ounces of this chicken here, I can get about 311 calories, get about 19 grams of fat. I'm looking at very minimal carbohydrates, of course, and about 34 grams of protein. So I can use those numbers, specifically the calories, the total fat, the total carbs, and the protein when it comes to building out a meal plan. Now, if you're into more of these details, some people have the Apple Watch and some people have the different meal plan programs with that. We can plug this stuff right up into it. So it kind of depends on how specific yours is. But let's say we look at a chicken thigh first. So chicken thigh itself, this is one chicken thigh. They do have ounces in here, but remember you have that bone in there. So you do have to plan for that. But let's just say we'll just use the one, 278 calories. But the main thing I want to show you here about that 18 grams of fat. So you're going to have a lot more fat when it comes to your chicken thigh compared to like your chicken breast, for example. So if we go in chicken, should probably spell it right with one hand here. If we go into our chicken breast, we can already see a difference in the calories. So we're going to just go ahead and click the cooked one and look at this difference here. 4.3 grams of fat, still getting over 30 grams of protein. So just simply like that, you're seeing how just a chicken breast and a chicken thigh have a dramatic difference in the amount of fat content go in there. So if you're actually trying to build muscle or even lose fat, the last thing you want to be doing right now is putting in more fat. So we want to try to find protein sources that are going to have a limited amount of fat, but give you a high amount of protein. So I'll use another one, which is really common. Let's use sirloin steak, right? So sirloin, I probably could just typed in, let me just type in, oh, that's probably spell it right. Sirloin, that's what we want to type. So 3 ounces here. Let's just use the 3 ounces, which is fine. But the main thing here, sirloin, I'm noticing 12 grams of fat. So I just want to point out that not all steaks are made equal. So you still are getting a good amount of protein. This is the 23 grams. Let's take it back up to kind of what I was looking at before. So 5 ounces, I'm getting about 40 grams of protein. So I'm getting even more protein, but it is going to have some fat in it, 20 grams of fat, different from that chicken breast we were looking at. So if we then look at, how about filet mignon? Anybody had that? Filet mignon is much leaner. It's different cuts can be. And so sometimes you'll see that in the nutrition facts here, but as I'm noticing right here, it's telling me that there's 25 grams of fat, 37 grams of protein. Now, of course, you can actually look at the fillet itself and you can tell if it has a lot of fat content in it because there is different cuts. So personally, I would look for something that's much more lean. But then, for example, let's look at a ribeye. And we'll go through these quickly, but just to kind of, again, show you the differences of fat content versus protein. So again, we're going to take this up so it's even. We're looking at a high 27 grams of fat with the 35 grams of protein. So out of everything that I've shown you so far, that chicken breast had the best ratio, which was a high protein and a really low fat. So another one that is really good for that, high protein, low fat, would be turkey. Now, a lot of times I'll get the ground turkey because it's just easier to get and it's easier to prepare. But let's just get a quick glance at this. We'll take it up to 5 ounces. And I'm only using 5 ounces just because that's sometimes where I'll start. I personally go between 5 and 7 ounces for my meals. Yours might be different, so you can just very easily change it. But again, 40 grams of protein and only 10 grams of fat. So, and I'm choosing these because, there's no carbohydrates in here. Now, when you're looking at your proteins, you just got to look at, how many calories am I getting? And with those calories I get, how many have to be fat versus how many can be protein? Your ideal goal is to get as much if you're trying to build muscle and if you're trying to lose weight by exercising, you do want to get protein in your diet to make sure that you're actually supporting the muscle in your body. So there's just real quick on proteins, but let's just say you you wanted to see your rice, right? Maybe you're having rice with your protein, chicken rice, really popular. So like for example, a cup of rice, 205 calories. I'm just going to click over so I can see more. That's if you're having a cup. You of course can change the measurement if you need to, but 45 grams of carbs. Now, you can also look at a half a cup, 22 grams of carbs. Looks like you can also, if we go back a little bit, you can change the measurement altogether. And so you can kind of choose exactly what you're looking for. It really kind of depends on how you're weighing out your food, but it's going to give you all the details there. Another thing to point out, for example, maybe a potato, right? You can just type it in, excuse me, and then you can go over tons of different common forms of eating a potato. But the point here is you should be able to find what it is that you're eating pretty quickly and be able to type these numbers in. Again, you can do it on your own spreadsheet. I've done it with people on a spreadsheet. You can use the actual food log that they provide. You can combine this with the Apple Watch to be able to type in and have everything feed itself right on over. Just a really effective tool when it comes to figuring out what macros, basically what is your food made up of. That's the most important part.